mods that you actually need to be adding to your RAM 1500 if you want to have a fast RAM 1500. up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Happy Thursday. We halfway or dang near halfway through the week, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys exactly these are the mods. I feel like you got to be doing these if your goal is for you to make any kind of power. Doesn't have to be crazy fast. If you're trying to make a little bit of power, these are the mods you need to be doing, or these are the mods you should be planning on buying for your Ram 1500. That's actually going to help you make power or add a little bit of power to your truck and stuff like that. But before we get into talking about that, I want to say, guys, I appreciate the support. If you are here on the channel for your first time, do me a favor, click that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. I would definitely appreciate it. This channel is based on my 2014 Dodge Ram, and I've owned this truck for about a year, almost 2 years, I'll say. So now this truck is going to be getting a completely different makeover within the next couple months, weeks, stuff like that. So I have a lot of things I got planned on doing to this Ram. I'm not going to keep it stock for a long time. So if you guys are a Mopar fan or car guy, truck guy, whatever, you into cars, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll definitely appreciate it. So now these are the things that I feel like if your goal is to, or if in general you're just trying to mod your truck, like, you got to be doing these mods. These are the mods that I feel like every Ram 1500 that is probably boosted or just NA stuff like that, bolt-on stuff, 9 times out of 10 got most of these mods I'm going to name to you. If you got a Ram, you got to do the right mods, and these are some of the right mods I'm going to add. Tell you guys exactly what you need to be doing. For my Ram guys out there that's actually just not using their truck for, towing and stuff like that. I mean, some of them is good. Some of these mods also I'm going to be sharing with you is also, you could use it. You could have it on your truck and still tow and stuff like that. But I don't use this truck for a work truck at all. It is my daily driver. I'm going to mod the F out of this truck, and that's the purpose of me having it. Mod it, enjoy it, and race with it. That's my goal. So I'm not, maybe here and there I put stuff in the bed and stuff, but this is a truck I don't use for towing or any kind of work purposes and stuff like that, besides getting me to work. So first thing I got to say, that's a #1 go-to mod that I feel like you got to, if you got a Ram, you got to have this. You got to have an oil catch can. That's like one of the things I feel like you got to have an oil catch can. It's not going to help you for speed, anything, but it's going to help your truck in general for, long, like any kind of, having a nice healthy engine and stuff like that, especially if it has a higher mileage. But all of this stuff going to play some kind of role into everything I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So oil catch can is something that's necessary. Another thing is you got to have is, you can't have these trucks, I feel like, and have just a regular stock air intake, core air intake. I definitely think that should be like, if you buy your truck today, tomorrow, whatever, this and that should be like the go-to thing you got to switch up when you have a Ram, because you guys know, like, seeing how the actual, for my Ram, the 2014 Ram, 4th generation Ram, I'm going to speak on, is like, if you see how your actual stock air intake setup is, and you see how boring and basic and not even worth it, how they look restrictive and stuff like that, you understand where I'm coming from. That should be like the #1 thing that you should do if you got a Ram. Like, that's something that is necessary, even if you don't have to do it right away, but it's something that you got to do later on down the line. It's important, so you got to get that. My next thing is gonna be the 6.4 liter truck intake manifold. That right there is a huge upgrade. I'm telling you guys, very big upgrade. Coming from a 5.7 Hemi intake manifold to a 6.4 intake manifold, definitely is a huge upgrade. I know some people still think that their 5.7 Hemi intake manifold, this and that, is cool and all, but I would definitely say this is something that, these are mods that I'm recommending to you guys, because not just for you trying to achieve power, but if your goal is to make any kind of little power, or whatever your goal is, to add some kind of low, maybe 20, 50 plus horsepower, These are the stuff that I feel like if you got a Ram, you got to have these. The 6.4 truck intake manifold, I would get it. You're going to have to get a porter and stuff like that. Ditch your 5.7, your stock 5.7 Hemi one, because it's not the best. It's junk. It's not worth it. That's just what I think, in my personal opinion. I mean, it is back that the 5.7 Hemi intake manifolds and stuff like that definitely is not the right way for you to go and stuff, and it's not something that you want to have on your truck. My next thing will be exhaust. I can speak on that because I'm gonna say exhaust is something also that's very, very important, because I went from owning this truck for about maybe 7-8 months. I'll say 7-8 months, and I was driving with no sound, super quiet. One thing about it, it really drive me crazy, because the fact that you got a truck and you have a V8, you have one of the best engines that Dodge ever made or Ram ever made in these trucks. Why the hell are you still trying to drive it super quiet? You got to let that V8 scream, and you got to enjoy that sound. Like me now, I don't have like a full custom exhaust yet. I just did a muffler delete and a muffler delete. I'll be honest with you guys. It definitely made a huge difference compared to the stock sound that it was making before. Very quiet. Now, a muffler delete is not something as I would say it's like a long-term thing for me, but for some people just, when they do just a muffler delete, they find with the sound that the truck made. But for me, I need that real loud, aggressive sound, cam chopping sound. That's the sound that I need for my truck, you know. But some people find with the muffler delete. Muffler delete is not really as bad as you think, but I just want my truck to be a little bit louder. But that's something that I feel like exhaust is very, very important. If you got one of these trucks, it's super important, man. Unless you want to drive in quietness, this and that, I wouldn't recommend you do so. But I just feel like something that's definitely important for these Rams and stuff. Now, my next thing I would say is gonna have to be long tube headers. You guys seen that coming? You guys know I was gonna say that. Long tube headers. Why? Because long tube headers just overall sound good on these trucks. Also, remove that restrictive stock exhaust manifold. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it just give it like that real, like, I would say, I wouldn't say like it give it like the sound that you want to hear yet, but for me personally, I think that it give it like the sound that I think that it should have came from factory with. Like, I would accept if Dodge just made one of these trucks with the setup on there now, like the stock exhaust and stuff, but instead they put long tube headers on it. Instead they came from factory with long tube headers instead of the low shorty headers that they're not even headers, man. They manifold, real restrictive, funny looking manifold that they have on here. Exhaust manifold definitely is not something that I would definitely want to keep on my truck for a long time, because either way you're still gonna have the issue, because that bolt at some point gonna start making a rattle sound. You're gonna have to remove it and ditch it and go with long tube headers. But long tube headers is something that's very, very important for a Ram 1500 for you to have. Now, what's next for me? I would say the next thing in line, I would say a custom cam for the Ram in general, because of the fact that they come with the MDS, BS and stuff like that. I would definitely say going with like a aftermarket custom cam, deleting your MDS definitely will be worth it, because it's something that every Ram, if you got a Ram, I'm telling you, your MDS is not your friend, dog. I'm telling you guys, if you got one of these trucks, even though it make you feel like it's saving you gas, but the point is this is just gonna kill your 5.7 Hemi engine later on down the line. So you want to get rid of it whenever you can. This is not something that you want to keep for a long time, but see that you getting a little bit of MPG, trying to, a little bit of MPG, seeing that your truck is averaging probably 17, 18, or a little bit more over per gallon and stuff like that. And that make you feel like, okay, your truck is in a good state. But personally, if you don't know the MDS on these trucks, it's not something that you want to have on these trucks for a long time, because it damaged these trucks. It definitely kill your 5.7 Hemi. That's how I see it. So I always recommend go with a camshaft for these trucks, custom camshaft. go with a good spec. Also, me personally, I would say, if I'm doing a camshaft, if you're gonna spend that money, unless you freaking in your 70s, 80s, unless you like a senior citizen, I can understand, but I would want to get like a super loud cam. I'm telling you guys, I want this truck to be loud as hell. So me personally, if you're gonna add a cam to anything, you gotta go with loud, like a stage 2, not stage 3. I'll say stage 3. I'll say somewhere around there. You gotta have a loud camshaft. Like, what's the point of you getting a camshaft? You're gonna keep it at a super quiet idle. It's not. You're not really gonna enjoy that real 5.7 Hemi sound that you will want. That's just me personally. I just feel like these trucks in general are meant to be sounding super good and loud, and the best way you can do so is by adding a camshaft, long tube headers, aftermarket exhaust, pretty much, and so on. Now, another thing I would recommend will have to be a custom tune. Regardless, this could be your first mod. If you have a Ram, you guys know how to, especially if you got a 6-speed, these trucks don't shift the best, and it takes a while to get up there. If it's a stock Ram 1500, it takes a while for it to get up there to really like get into that, like that Ram mode and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. But with a custom cam, even if your truck's stock, you can custom tune your transmission. You can custom tune the engine to where your trans can shift even a lot more, like, better. There's a lot of things you could do with a custom tune that I would recommend you guys do. But this is just me sharing. If you're not doing none of these stuff, you're not going to have any kind of, your truck not going to make any kind of raw power or be fast, if that's your goal. But you guys definitely want to make sure you at least do some of these mods, or do your research, this and that. Hopefully this can help you. But that's going to be it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Stay safe. Peace out.